Hey guys, happy Easter. I don't know if you hear this, but my voice is a little pack a day smoker like because I have a bit of a cold or something. I don't feel bad. I just have a bad voice. Um and Unfortunately I wasn't able to join the festivities with my family, so I'm headed over to my friend's house. We're gonna just chill. My baby's sleeping actually right here in her bouncer, so I have a bit of time to talk. Today we're going to talk about something that I find very important. So, in case you don't know my purpose, I post videos on like finding someone for real. If you're a man, a woman that's at the stage where you're like tired of dating and you want to really settle down, I'm your girl because I'm here to give you some tips on how to find love, like literally find the one for you. Like I don't play around with marriage. At one point when I was like I'm gonna get married, I wasn't playing. I'm like I'm gonna get married, okay? The thing is that I got married twice. The first time I was like I'm gonna get married one day, and then I just got married to somebody because like he loved me, and then we got married. The second one I was selective. I was like, hey, like who's this guy? Because I didn't want to make the mistake the second time. So I feel like I have both lenses. Also, I'm in a blended family, so like my situation's a little bit more like stressful because it's like blending like four different families together. So that's where things are contentious for me. But for you, it could be easy. Just find that one person and you start building from there. So, like I said, from having all these different angles, I feel like you should at least like consider what I'm saying. Today we're going to talk about the preliminary work before you even start your search. Before you even start finding the one for you, you got to do some internal work, okay? Because like I know that love looks very attractive. You see the warm and fuzzy feelings. Oh, I want to be in love. You're gonna feel that loving feeling, but within like I would say a year and a half, the real stuff starts coming out. The way you guys talk, do you guys communicate, resolve arguments, and when you're married, when you're on lock like that, do you know how hard it is to get divorced? Like I said, I was divorced once. The paperwork is extensive. The feeling of death is so heavy. If you've been divorced before, you know what I'm talking about. You literally feel like you're dying as you're going through the process. Like it's really hard to get divorced like that. Also, I just think that to have a healthy relationship, have a healthy marriage, you have to be emotionally intelligent because you're not always going to be right. You're going to get into arguments, you're going to get into disagreements, you're going to get into discussions, and you're going to think you got it all correct. But you don't. The person has a perspective. You have to go in the middle and everything like that. You have to work it out through the ebbs and the flows of life. And so it's important to know how to be flexible, how to be compromising, how to communicate. You have to understand your ethics, your values system. And that comes 100% to play when you have children, because your kids will see you as a team. And if you're not on the same team, your kids are going to manipulate you, okay? So today we're going to talk about work to be done before you start your search. So the first thing you have to think about is, do you have some healing to do? Okay? What kind of trauma do you have, and have you healed from that? I'm talking about even beyond just like the last girlfriend messed you up. I'm talking about like, how is like with your parents? How was your parents' relationship like? How did they get along? Were you from a single family household? How did your mom date? How did you see your dad date? What kind of thing did you observe on how your parents communicated and how they resolved conflict and how they showed love and how they made you feel loved and safe in your house? Did you feel safe in your house? Did you feel like you're able to be yourself? Did you see some healthy communication between your family? Then even just like if they're mad at you, did they come talk to you and tell you, hey, that's wrong? Or were you yelled at? Did they come to you and say, hey, like, what's your plans for your life? What do you want to do for your life? Let me help you out. Or did they dictate what you had to do? You're going to law school. Did they make you feel like you're stupid? Did they make you feel like, you do nothing wrong? So now you're walking around with a sense of entitlement. Just all these things to consider about how you grew up. Like, so think about your background, how your upbringing was, and think, did I heal from the pain of any of that? Because like a lot of us, am I a millennial if I'm born in 87? I don't know. A lot of us, my generation, I'm in my late 30s. And I feel like a lot of our parents were kind of messed up, low key. Like I'm sorry, mom. You guys were a little messed up, okay? And I think that like we have the chance to make it right. You don't have to be like your parents, eh? You can actually do something different. For example, I grew up in a very, 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 very religious home. Very religious. And it was like, as for me, my house, we will serve the Lord. And okay, I appreciate that because I feel like it gave me a very good value system. But on the other side, I feel like I never thought for myself. I wasn't able to think for myself. I always felt guilty and shamed. And eventually I rebelled. So now I'm at the stage where I'm like, okay, I appreciated the values. I appreciated that you showed me like a good path. But I'm gonna take what I know and I'm gonna use what I think is right for my own son. So my son and I, we go to church, but I don't push God down his throat like that. I just try to give him like the hope that like there's a higher being out there that's looking out for you and that you should love yourself. Blah, blah, blah. Sorry, I'm looking at the time, like 5 minutes already. You're probably like, get on with it. But I'm sorry, I like to go into details. I'm a woman. We talk a lot. But so yeah, so look at the way your parents were, how you were in your house, and just look at like ways that you'd want your family to work on or be like. Another thing too is like look at your values and ethics. Do you know your value system? Like I know you're living a certain life right now, but when you get children, if you want children, you're gonna really know what your values are because when something happens, you'll say, "Hell no, not in my house." I'll give you an example. I really feel like it's important for kids to be respectful to adults. I think it's like don't talk to me about nothing. As long as the adult's not abusing you or like yelling at you, like you gotta be respectful. So like with school and everything, I tell my son like the teacher's the boss. I don't want to hear nothing that you were rude talking back to her and everything like that. Whereas some parents I talk to, some friends of mine are like, you know what? Like my kids are allowed to express themselves and they have a different way of parenting that I have. So my values are I value respect to adults. I value education. I think it's extremely important. Some people feel like education's like doesn't have to be in school. It could be like homeschool or it could be done through entrepreneurship, like building a business. So they don't care if their kids don't go to school. To me, it's like you gotta graduate and produce with me a plan. Other than that, like there's no if, ands, and buts. Like education is currency. That's my thoughts. Okay, so like another thing I feel like I value is being like disciplined, like internally disciplined. For example, I feel like it's good for a kid to understand to self-regulate themselves, to balance their eating, like eat healthy, go to bed on time. I think it's important to be disciplined in that way, and also teach your kids how to discipline themselves. So you're not always like, I would say, coddling them. Some parents, they've had so much trauma in their lives that they want their kids to not feel any type of stress. And if that wouldn't drive with me. So look at your value system, okay? Beyond just religion, beyond just like what do you believe in? Just what do you believe about like women rights? What do you believe about what's it called? Like politics? Are you a person that really thinks that the person that you should be with has to be in the same political party? I don't care. My husband's a huge, I would say, conspiracy theorist, and he always talks about it. And I listen to him, but I'm not really huge into it. But a lot of things that he believes based on his conspiracy theories, I probably shouldn't call it that because it might sound offensive, but a lot of things that he believes based on his theories, I'm okay with because I have kind of similar values. I just don't go this hard. I'm not going to tell you what they are specifically, but there's certain things that he's like, I don't believe in that. And I'm like, cool. But imagine I was on a different camp. Like that's disastrous for a home if you're not on the same page in certain values, especially, like I said, if you have kids. I have okay, one second. Another thing to think about is like, what kind of household do you want? Like, do you want to have kids one day and then have a stable house where you guys like live in the house for years and the kids go to the local school? Are you a person that just wants to travel with your mate? Do you guys want to both be on the grind? Do you want do you want your wife to stay home with the kids? Do you want your wife to also be like a businesswoman? Think about these things. Another thing too is think about your communication. how do you communicate? Are you a good communicator? I don't mean to say like do you talk with people well. I'm talking about like how do you express yourself? How do you express your likes, your dislikes? How do you express your anger? Are you a person that's passive aggressive? When you're mad, does a person have to guess what you're feeling? Do you like to be left alone? Are you able to express, hey, listen, I'm a little upset right now. I need to be left alone. Give me a few hours. Give me a day. Like, are you like, what kind of communicator are you? Are you a person that's able to express, listen, I really appreciated you doing that. I would appreciate if you could do it. Like, are you a person that can talk and express how you feel inside? Are you in touch with your emotions? You have to work on that, because you know what happens if you don't work on that? You're gonna fight with your spouse. You're gonna fight with the person you're with. You're gonna want to leave, or you're gonna want to break up the relationship, or you're gonna just engage in toxic, passive, aggressive behaviors when you're upset, or you're gonna try to express yourself in toxic ways. So you have to learn to communicate, because nobody can read your mind. So I understand that you're able to express yourself through playing games and everything like that, but if you're with a person that you're supposed to be on the same team, you have to learn to look at each other and talk about things. You can't sweep things under the rug. You can't hope it goes away. You can't buy an argument off. You can't just like ignore it, like I said. So you have to learn to talk about things, and the way you communicate is going to be something that is replicated to your children. The way you are able to express yourself and talk about like disagreements with your spouse, the kids are gonna pick up on that. So I remember at one point, I used to be a yeller. I kind of somewhat still am, but I've calmed the hell down since I realized how damaging it is. But I used to yell. I remember one time my son was talking to his friend, they were having a disagreement, and he started yelling. Do you know how like terrible I felt? Right then I knew, okay, not that's not gonna happen like that, and I had to work on that, and I'm still working on it. It's always gonna be a work in progress. You're not gonna meet somebody and you have to be perfect, but you have to have a certain level of self-awareness to understand like how being married is not gonna be like kumbaya. It's gonna be a lot of work and compromise and meeting in the middle. I gotta go though, because I have to meet my friend, pick up dessert and go. But let's continue this discussion. But I hope it was helpful. I hope you at least think about what I said. It was a little heavy. We're gonna be a little lighter next video, hopefully. Or I could elaborate. I'll just be putting out videos. So like, just listen to what you can, okay? Anyways, talk to you later. Happy Easter, okay?